This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather Ho there. It's Jeff Cutastrophe and welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe on this date. We started a brand new month. It's September the 1st. And 32 years ago in 1990, the Toronto Argonauts and the BC Lions played a fantastic game. One for the record books, if you will. It is the 1990 CFL season. 8 teams were in the league. BC, Calgary, Edmonton, Saskatchewan in the west. The east had Hamilton, Ottawa, Toronto, and Winnipeg. Obviously, that's not the whole story because there's a ninth team that's supposed to be there. And that team is the Montreal Alouettes. But Montreal in 1987 folded, and they stayed folded for 9 years until the Baltimore Stallions, left the CFL, and the CFL abandoned their American experiment. Baltimore went to Montreal and started a dominant streak that has tapered off since. Well, the Ottawa Rough Riders would actually become the Ottawa Renegades. And then the Red Blacks. So it is September the 1st. And in a shocking moment, the Argos and Ticats would not face each other on Labor Day, which is like, what? You're telling me that the 1990 Toronto Argonauts played in September, early September, not against Hamilton, but against BC? Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, so the Toronto Argonauts headed into this game were a woeful 3-5. Whereas the 1990 BC Lions, when they got to Toronto, were terrible. They were 2-5-1. So these two teams would meet. But the game would be a humongous game of sorts. And all that. So anyway, these teams would meet. BC had just signed Doug Flutie to a CFL contract. And Toronto had their own star quarterback, Matt Dunnigan. Unfortunately, what I am seeing is I don't see any box scores and all that. I would have to go through the YouTube video and all that. But at the Skydome in front of 31,000 fans, the Lions and Argos would face each other. And let me say that it's the highest scoring game in CFL history. A 68-43 win for the Toronto Argonauts. It was huge. I mean, you had 111 points in one game. That's amazing. Now, the question on everyone's mind is, after this game, how good were the Argos? Well, the Argos went on a tear. After that, they won four more games in a row. They went back to BC to play the Lions and beat them. They went to Ivory Stadium and beat the Ticats before crushing the Stampeders and Hamilton again on Skydome turf. They had scored 60 in their 5-game winning streak. They had scored 68, 49, 39, 70, and 60. If you take a look at that, that would be roughly 286 points in 5 games. So that would be about 57 close to per game. It's like 57. Yikes. You don't see that in the NFL. You rarely see a team crack 40. The Argos did lose 3 of the last 5 games. But at 10-8, they were the second best team in the East and got to faced Ottawa in the Eastern semifinal, which they beat the Rough Riders, but lost to Winnipeg narrowly. By a score of 20-17. It didn't matter. The good news for the Argos was that Pinball Clemens was named the most outstanding player for his pass receiving, and his special teams, kick returning, punt returning. So Matt Dunnigan did his job. He helped the Argos score 689 points, or 38.3 points per contest. It's like, wow, this is just amazing and all that. Matt Dunnigan doing his job and all that. So yeah, the Argos did not get to. They got to the postseason, but lost. On the other side of the coin, despite Willie Pless for BC, Doug Flutie, and Jim Mills, who won Offensive Lineman of the Year, the Lions just sucked. They were 6-11-1. In fact, BC missed by 1 point from crossing over and going to the Eastern playoffs, because the CFL since 1987 have the rule that if a fourth place team from any of the divisions, East or West, do better than the third place team in either division, then they can cross over and go into those playoffs. And that has happened several times. Like the Western fourth place team would go to the East and play the third and take over the third place Eastern team and be the third seed in the East. Unfortunately, it has never happened the other way around. The West usually is dominant. I mean, when you have Calgary, Edmonton, Saskatchewan, BC, and Winnipeg all playing roulette and all that, being good, and then you have some very terrible teams in the East. Like Hamilton's had some terrible times. Not recently, but yeah. Toronto has had some lean years. Montreal even has some lean years. And Ottawa. Things happen. But anyway, yeah, the Lions were just not that good. They did have that Flutie, but nothing else happened. So take it with a grain of salt. Anyway, I'm Jeff. I'm going to do.